Hello, my name is Ashley. I grew up going to the Sandusky and Port Clinton Church. Um, During a Thursday evening service in camp meeting in 2009, I was called to serve God on the mission field. That night changed my life forever. There were a few months in the beginning where I felt like I was Jonah wanting to run away from God, but I also felt like Moses telling God all the reasons why he didn't want to use me. Um, but with the support of many people, I started my journey on becoming a Church Nazarene missionary. When I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you today, it was hard to pin down exactly what I wanted to talk about. I could think of 100 different stories that just happened this summer alone of what I could share with you guys today. But I decided to tell you the story of our brother Iman. Iman wants the whole world to know his story. Iman is a young man who has been coming to our church for the last 4 months. Iman lives in the refugee center in Zagreb, Croatia, along with 600 people who are all waiting and are in the interview process of hearing their decision on whether or not they can stay in Croatia or whether or not they're going to get kicked out of the country. Even though Iman is in this very stressful, long waiting period, he is one of the most optimistic person that I've ever met. Back in May, we had a group of Trevecca students come and be in Croatia for 2.5 weeks. While they were here, they participated and helped led a boot camp for English in the refugee center that Iman lives in. Iman came to class every day and he learned more and more every day. And he worked on a project in the afternoons. And at the end of the week, we offered for the students to share a project if they wanted to. Iman was one of the brave ones that decided to stand up in front of the classroom and to share his project. His project was about his best day of his life. And he proceeded to have us all crying because he told a beautiful story about his wedding day. He described his wife's face, he described her dress, he described the food they ate, and he described the love and the laughter that just filled that whole entire day. That same week that we had the English boot camp, Iman unfortunately broke his arm while playing soccer. We were initially all extremely sad and upset for Iman because he's a barber and that's how he makes a little extra money in the refugee center is he cuts people's hair. And at one point I had to run Iman to the doctor and I said, "I'm so sorry, Iman, your arm's broken." And he said, "Oh, Ashley, that's okay. God gave me two." Later that week, one of our friends went to go check on Iman at the refugee center, and he found him cutting hair in the little room that they provide for him to cut hair in. And in this little room, there was this poster up on the wall for this movie that none of us have ever heard of before, but the movie title was Unbroken. Our friend shared this photo with all of us with the caption is, "Our brother in Christ, Iman, truly is unbroken." It is my greatest joy to share with you guys today that Iman was baptized last Sunday. Before he went down into the water, he stood in front of our whole congregation and he confessed how excited and how much he loves the Lord and how he is excited for what God is going to do through him. Here in our congregation, a huge part of our challenge is that we're ministering to people that are in this period of waiting, in this period of unknown. They're in this time in their lives where they don't know where they'll be next week or next month or next year. And we have to minister in that. And God has given us such a peace and a joy in ministering to people where they're at in this moment. I want to thank you for listening to Iman's story. Um, he truly wants the whole world to know, and it's not a burden for us to share it because it's such an inspiration to all of us. In his time of waiting and in his time of stress, and even though his situation is completely different than many of ours, there's one thing in common, that as a church, that as Christians, we are also in a time of waiting for Christ to come back. And just like Iman, we are challenged to catch the vision of God no matter where we're at in our time of waiting and to reflect Christ's life here on this earth. We are a sent people. And I just want to challenge you guys this weekend as you go back home from district camp meeting that you have catch the vision that God has for your life. Either the vision for you to be sent to your family or your vision to be sent back to school in the fall or your vision to be sent in your workplace. God has a purpose for all of us, and I just hope you guys have a clear vision after this week what His purpose in your life is. Back in 2009, I was sitting in this very sanctuary when I was called to become a missionary, and that changed my life forever. And not all of you may be being called to become a missionary today or even this week, but God may be calling you to do something. And I just ask that you be open to that call, because when you're in God's will, there's no happier place you can be in the world. As we say here in Croatia, Bože blagoslove. God bless you.